welcome back to another awesome video. And with the Amazing Digital Circus, they just posted, I want to say weeks ago. I'm behind on this, but well, I already saw the episode, but I'm behind on the news that they posted their latest episode, episode 8, in honor of their last episode, episode 9, being premiered and released on May, but I'm pretty certain it is June of this year. I figured to kind of like change it up a little bit. Let's kind of like start a conversation. This is definitely a conversation that's been brought up millions of times, several times. I bet you all have come across a video similar to this, if not exactly like this, within the past 5 years, maybe even less. And that is this, not necessarily collision, but there is definitely, not war, but there's definitely this thing with the industry and Hollywood versus indie projects and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not here to be on a pedestal and say you gotta support this one, you gotta pick a side or anything like that. I'm not here to say you gotta choose. It's just the fact of being self-aware and acknowledging and observing what's been going on. And with the end of The Amazing Digital Circus, since Glitch Productions has said that this will be the last episode and this will be the last of the season, no more seasons, nothing else to do with these characters that we know of so far, but they've confirmed that that is pretty much it after episode 9. This doesn't mean that this will be the end of indie projects, but it's just a thing to just be aware of how much there's been the incline of indie projects, and should the industry be paying attention to this? And I think they should, in a way. And I'm not here to say that, oh, fuck the system or let's get rid of indie projects. I'm here to support both. Like, I support all things art related, anything film, TV show, video game, whatever it may be. I mean, a lot of my favorite movies of this year are coming out. We've got Spider-Man Brand New Day, we have Avengers Doomsday, and we got The Mandalorian Grogu, and we got projects like Superman Man of Tomorrow and the Batman Part 2 and other things that are happening within Disney and Warner Brothers. And they've given us such great and iconic things, and they are still putting out some, I think I'd like to say they are putting out some really exciting stuff. DreamWorks is really doing some interesting things with, I know there's original projects they have up their sleeves. Everything's looking good, but let's be honest here, at the same time, things aren't looking that great either, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be a project or projects that people will be excited for and ones that are definitely not on people's radars and we are not excited for. I mean, come on. There's all the remakes that Disney's going to do, and now DreamWorks is jumping on the live action remake thing with they just did last year with 2025's How to Train Your Dragon. And then now we have Disney making more and more remakes that we don't need and sequels we don't need. I mean, we're talking about Toy Story 5 and maybe Coco 2. I don't know how I feel about that, but definitely Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, a sequel to Lilo and Stitch, the remake version of Lilo and Stitch, and then Moana, and they've got plans for Tangled and plans for this one, and Hercules is still being talked about, and there's so many projects that they're just ready to just milk and remake and reboot and just rehash the same story over and over and over again. But on the other hand, we have a lot of indie projects that are becoming popular and skyrocketing into fandom, into stardom, to the point where some companies are starting to be aware of it. I mean, Glitch Production, not only do they post their episodes on YouTube of The Amazing Digital Circus, of things like Gaslight, I always forget that one show. It's like Gaslight, Green Yard, Gangster, Gaslight, something, this right here. And then they have the Guinevere, I think it's The Adventures or something of Guinevere. Point is, they post their stuff on YouTube, but if I remember correctly, I haven't checked in a while and it's been some time, but if I remember correctly, Netflix did have some of the Amazing Digital Circus episodes on their streaming service. And I think the biggest example of an indie project or an indie company or an indie artist being acknowledged and being kind of like, not put on a pedestal, but kind of in a way, and kind of getting recognition is VisiPop, Vivian Madreno, and her creations like, of course, Hazbin Hotel and Helva Boss. They're all both on Amazon Prime now, with, obviously, the backup of Amazon and A24. It's so damn crazy. It's so damn awesome to see that. And it's no wonder. I mean, they produce really great animated content, and then even The Amazing Digital Circus is a great show to really look at and get into. And there's other things in between that I don't even know about. There's even a project, I think, with like noir 1940s gangster cats that I heard about, which I'm still tempted to check out, and it's, it piques curiosity, becoming so popular with fans and people all over the place. And it's not even just animation. We can even take it a step further. Like I mentioned earlier, A24 has been an indie, what feels like an indie sort of industry, with them putting out all these movies, non-IP properties. I mean, granted, they are making one based on The Backrooms, which is a video game, but still, they've put out so many other things like Moonlight and Spring Breakers and High West Trilogy that we've covered, I think, once or twice before. Hell, speaking of video game movies, we had Markiplier just made Iron Lung, and I know people critically aren't really crazy about the movie, but it did beat out, I want to say either Avengers Endgame or Avatar Way of Water or Fire and Ash, one of the Avatar sequels, in terms of box office. So we have even a YouTuber like Markiplier kind of combating with the industry and making a staple and maybe getting the industry to notice that, hey, we should pay attention to this, but not in the sense of let's declare war. Let's just be aware of these projects, these artists. Let's help them, support them, give them the acknowledgement that they're doing successful, they're doing amazing, they're doing a great job, they're doing awesome. All these people involved, all these animators, all these writers, all these directors, all these people, all these creator system, if you will. It's not like a debate of which is better. It's not like it's a war of whose side you should really choose. It's just support. Let's just support art in general, no matter where it comes from. Let's support original ideas. Let's support, the big movies that do well and succeed, but also support the indie projects that succeed and do really well. I mean, last month, we have Hoppers that came out from Pixar, an original Pixar movie, and then they also have, I think, Disney or Pixar has another project that's original. Comparing and the contrasting of how, like, the good and the bad, how Hollywood's been, industry should pay attention to these things because
You're just
they're original properties, they're original ideas, they're filled with fresh material, new material, and filled with characters that are, unique. Maybe there's some that are broken, some that are relatable, some that are sympathetic, some that are tragic, some that are optimistic, and everything in between. And it's just, everything's like a knockout, home run, walk in the park with these new shows that come out, like these new indie projects. But at the same time, in a weird way, not that studios and, big corporate people should be afraid of these little indie projects and these little things rise to popularity, but I think they should kind of like be aware, pay attention a little bit, because this is the stuff that we're kind of wanting, and that is originality. And if we can, handshake it out, let's like agree that we're all great art. We're all great, fantastic things that we're putting out for the world. And hey, let's learn from you guys. Let's make it a nice balance. Instead of this weird competition of, we gotta do this to do this, we gotta knock down a peg, and we gotta show them who's boss. Let's just, let's just agree that everyone's doing best, but at the same time, making mistakes, and let's all just walk together. I know this is not gonna make sense at all, but I hope that at least this maybe gets to somebody. I hope that you guys are understanding, or at least kind of get an idea of where I'm coming across and kind of like the drive of it. And I just thought it's just a little fun thing and just something different to do to kind of get, change of pace a little, just something fun. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please smash the like button if you're new to my channel. Please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, if not every week. Make sure you ring that bell to new videos every day of the week. Share the video with family and friends. All the good stuff and more. Leave suggestions down in the comments. You name it. I'll look into it as best as possible. Look out for more movie reviews. Look out for all sorts of other things I'll be working on. I'm going to try and get more reviews, more TV show reviews, other things, requests, all that other great stuff that I've kind of have literally sheets upon sheets of like what I have planned for the next couple months. Anyways, guys, Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time.